So you've qualified for the Invitational finals, and well, what advice can I give you? There's quite a few things here. Now, qualifying for the Invitational, it's unique to most events. There's a lot of different factors that you need to consider in this event above others. And knowing these factors moving forward when you're going into this event will give you a huge edge above most opponents that won't even be considering these things. So, guys, first of all, you need to know the format. Now, for the European format, for invitationals, you have straight elimination. That's it. It's top 16, straight to elimination stage. Like, once you lose the round, you're out of the tournament. That's it. There's no second chances. In America, it's 4 rounds of Swiss followed by top 4 knockout. Now, these are very different. You want to look at the events completely different if you qualify for either. Now, if you're preparing your deck list for one of the events, you need to know the formula to the tournament. You need to know if it's elimination or if it's Swiss and then top cut. Because there's certain things that you need to look at with your deck list different to other events. Now, what I mean by this is if you qualified for the European Invitational and it's straight elimination, then you need to look at your deck list in a way where, well, it doesn't always need to be super consistent to get through the tournament, because you ideally, when you build your deck to be super consistent, you build it like that so it gets you through the Swiss rounds. But you don't want to take too much consistency though, because if you do that, the price you pay is, you know, you're going to brick and ultimately you're just going to get eliminated anyway. So what I mean is you need to have a few power cards, a few cards which will give you an edge. Now let's say you're playing the mirror match. Let's say, I don't know, like Drytron is very, very popular and you're playing the mirror, okay? Usually whoever goes first will win. But let me tell you, if you played in your deck tech card, blowout cards in your deck to help you beat the mirror match, which you wouldn't probably play in a long Swiss tournament, you'd play Forbidden Droplets in your main deck. Now, if you play the Drytron mirror, the person who plays Forbidden Droplet in their main deck is going to win more or less than the person who doesn't in the long run. So if you're playing an elimination tournament and there's a majority of the tournament is Drytron players, then you're going to want to have Forbidden Droplet in your deck list. Now you're probably going to think, okay guys, well, Jake, you don't actually know what people are playing in this event. Well, we kind of do. We know the breakdown. We know who qualified. We know the 16 players that made the Invitational finals in Europe. Okay, we know the 16. Now, what does that do? What information does that give you? How can we benefit from this? Well, what I would be doing if I was you, look at the deck lists that each player qualified with. Look at the deck lists. Look at the deck lists for each other Extravaganza main event that they played and did well with. Look at what decks they play. From that, you can actually work out what deck they might be playing for the Invitational. Now, the thing you won't know is who you're playing against in the first round, the second round, etc. That's just information you won't be provided until you've submitted your deck list. Okay, so you can't predict who you're playing against. However, though, you can actually work out roughly what people will be playing and roughly work out how many decks of that archetype are in the tournament. And then you can use that knowledge to help you build your side deck and tweak your main deck in a way which will be quite surprising to your opponent for an elimination tournament. Now, I hope this information helps for the players that qualified for the European Invitational. If you're an American player, you want to look at the deck, your deck list quite differently. You need to do well in the Swiss rounds followed by top cut. You do get a second chance in the American tournament compared to the European one. You are allowed to lose a round of Swiss in the Invitational in America because you play 4 rounds of Swiss. So you might want to be more consistent with your deck list, and that way then your side deck will come into top cut to give you that edge. But also, when you're playing the American Invitational finals, what you might want to do is you actually still want to research who you're playing against and what decks they are likely to be playing. Now, who you're playing against, okay, you don't know that, but you want to work out who qualified. You know that that's public information, it's public knowledge, and then you want to build your side deck accordingly to what you believe will be the decks that are being represented by these players. So guys, I hope this video helps you. The players that did qualify for the Invitational, good luck. Hope you win. Hope this advice really helps you when it comes to deciding what deck you're playing, what tech choices you're playing, what side deck you're building. And also, if you haven't qualified for the Invitational Finals, I hope this information helps you moving forward, because there are tournaments like this in the future where you do know who qualified, and this information can help you. Alright guys, look after yourselves, take care, peace.